I
The thing
feel
is,
like
though, you've got good lanes, right? The Lena should have a good lane. You've got an Enchantress lane, always going to be very successful. Dawnbreaker, one of the best out there. So yeah, I'd be a little bit worried.
I just don't know how well the Dawn's going to play into the Undying. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, that no, I don't know, man. That is still a very difficult lane. Just missile into Starbreaker, like level 2. There's nothing the Alchemist is going to do. Like Undying is not going to get really much usage out of the acid spray, I don't think. So maybe they will actually have a.
The Wave of Terror does a lot of damage now at level 1. Like 85 damage for an AoE is a lot.
Okay,
Vinny
yeah.
has to be a little bit careful here. He's getting gone on, but he's got Enchantress there to back him up. All right, so No Runes have done us a little bit dirty here, changing their names up a little bit. So I'm actually a little bit sad that Nuage changed it over to Serum instead. Much preferred Nuage. Do you know what a Nuage is?
I didn't know. You said it was kind of a French word before when we were off
Yeah,
screen, right?
it's the word for like the mushroom cloud after a big explosion.
Benny? Good position to be in. Oh, he's just baiting. It's just a casual Alchemist bait. Set up for a 3-man avalanche, a followed with a concoction as well. Benny, that's next level stuff, my guy.
Already a scent of death on the
Easy clap. Never in doubt.
He gets it as well. So first blood over to the Wind Ranger. Bottle going to be coming out. An incredible timing here for the position 2. You mentioned who you asked kind of who I was favoring heading into this one. What are your thoughts though with the draft? Is there one team you feel like has a little bit more of an advantage?
I'm still really heavily in the camp of I base a lot of my assessment on how lanes are going to go. And in my eyes, I feel like this bot lane is going to go just fine for No Runes. You've got the Blightstone on the Enchantress, so you don't need to go it super early on the PA to get a lot of harassment out. You can just focus on last hitting, and then you can look to join in as Serum with the Blightstone looks to harass out people like the Tiny, 0 armor, brings him into the negatives, DP, a little bit more sustainable, but your ability to be able to get away from this harass, especially now with the nerf to the movement speed on the DP, I think that can't be in terms of importance, undervalued, because you're up against an Enchantress that now has a 35 movement speed advantage over you. It makes it so hard.
Yeah, when I read the changes, I really thought the movement speed would hinder the Death Prophet side lane a lot more than kind of mid in particular, because of just the distance you need to play to continue chasing Kuros down to get the Spirit Siphon going. Mid lane it is important as well, but I felt like not as much as some of the side lanes, but all we've seen so far has been side lane Death Prophet.
Yeah, for sure. Top lane looks like it'll be Hiko playing that position 3 role, and Jupiter being the one being the pos 4. I mean, Dawnbreaker, really good to be able to put in the way of a squishy Vengeful Spirit, excuse me. And we know whenever you're going up against a Undying, you don't really want to be giving that Strength Hero the core role. So might be looking to go for a kill here onto the Alchemist. Careful, trying to keep the space.
We'll be able to do so with a concoction for the moment. Does eat a lot of damage until 555 is able to help him get back to the tower, but we are seeing those level 2s from No Runes and how powerful it can be.
Jupiter even just going to try and clear out a couple of these harpies. I would almost leave it solo just so that it's the one there, and yeah, it makes it a lot easier to have to kill that creep and then look to stack it afterwards and then make a pull that isn't quite as effective. Just little plays like that can do a lot to end up winning you the lane. Even getting the pull off here, nicely done.
Bottom lane, we had some battle going as well. There was a nice toss under the tower to get some harassment onto the Enchantress. So Serum still got multiple tangos to play with. And he was able to do a really good job as well to kind of protect the Enchantress to kind of get away from any extra aggressive damage. But we just see kind of the poke and prod. Both sides are really just playing the game of getting rid of the resources, and once they start to dwindle down kind of the tangos themselves, then maybe they can capitalize and get that kill.
Yeah, they're out of regen right now, except for the AoE coming through from the flag bearer as well as one tango. But Looks like Serum for now, he's happy enough to just farm. Doesn't want to take over any of these creeps super
Top
early.
lane,
Hasn't
Benny.
found the...
He's actually going to try and stand his ground in the acid spray and man fight. One more magic missile with a right click, and Hiko claims it. A suicide of his own life, but he feels it's worthwhile with taking the Alchemist down with him.
Yeah, he bought out before the death as well, so made sure that he was spending all of that unreliable gold coming through. Gonna have that boots, making the laning stage even better for him. Guts in the mid lane, as we would expect. Lina winning the lane. What a surprise. You know that there's not going to be any rotation coming through from an Undying because it's just not going to be effective at all. It's all on the back of the Tiny, so I'm sure that's all he's saying. Just keep me aware of a lot of these Tiny's movements, and then I'll be just fine. I'll win the lane for you. Don't worry about it, boys.
Yeah, well,
They've got
you see,
two win conditions then, if you've got the Lina and the PA, right?
Yeah, their scaling potential late game is being very, very scary for Balrogs to be able to deal with. We just saw prior Guts was able to stop Robo-Z from getting the top water rune, and then the Enchantress even secured the bottom water rune as well. So Robo-Z is playing with what that thought is top lane, 555. He's got the Tombstone leveled up as well. In a little bit of trouble is going to be the Dawnbreaker. Hiko's going to try and turn to kill off, and oh, they will be able to do so. Nicely done. So this means that Dawnbreaker is going to be able to step out to the right side, and Hiko wants to continue putting the pressure on. They've got another round of the Celestial Hammer. They need to keep their distance, and well, they'll force a spell usage and at least dwindle once again the resources of Benny.
Well, you can see Jupiter really wants to look to go for this kill if he can. Dawnbreaker, level 3. 2 points in the Luminosity is kind of surprising, considering the early nerfs to the Celestial Hammer damage. Really does feel like you need to put a little bit more emphasis onto it. Don't think he should be any danger of dying, though. Might look to scout out, see if there's any camps starting to be stacked up inside the jungle, but I suppose he knows that Undying really hasn't left the lane, so it's unlikely.
Like you were mentioning, though, really, the advantage that No Runes had was off the back of the lanes, and it's really proving to be the case. Was just a 2,000 net worth lead. It's off to a great start for them, and we're going to continue to see Serum.
What's this rotation going to be like from Serum? I mean, he's going to pick up the Invis Rune, nice. Just stealing that one away. But, I mean, even just going for ganks against Robo-Z is kind of nice as the Enchantress, right? You have the Enchant to be able to spell off that wind run. Means that the Lina, as long as she's able to get that initial Dragon Slave, Light Strike array off, you're going to be in a really good spot to try and convert. But that's why Pamplona's looking to stay around that sort of area. Hellbear Smasher to come back to lane. Don't think they'll have the damage to be able to kill Hijack here.
Top lane, Hiko. I'm in a bit of trouble here. Benny gets a long-range concoction. Jupiter's going to be able to help out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, though, Hijack will be forced to TP back to the T1 tower as well. So again, both sides continuing to skirmish it out. Jupiter is fighting underneath the acid spray, but as soon as it expires, he's going to be chilling for the moment. We're not done just yet. As back to bottom, Minnie's going to look to jump in and try and kill off the Tiny. He's got the Hellbear if required for the bonus damage, who instead just chases down the corridor to get a little bit of extra gold.
He can get one more clap before he dies as well. Clap him. Nice. Give him the clap.
To him. Up the cheeks.
Come on, bro. Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
Where's the clap? I'm so
Top
sad.
lane. Ampellona's going to look to TP in. Jupiter juking through the trees, but 555's going to be able to block him off. They do have Serum nearby, though. And Jupiter's still alive. They'll get the kill onto the Tiny. Pampelona just TP'd up, and now Benny as well is going to be cautious. He recognizes he can't continue to move on forward with that concoction. He's just going to use that instead to get some distance.
It's an Alchemist that isn't really farming, though. You know, he's 3-1-1 just to try and keep them away inside of the lane, just shoving waves out, and that's exactly what the Venge wants, right? You're going to have this period of about 17 or so minutes most of the time, maybe a bit longer. I haven't actually seen too much Venge since the change to the passive gold, but all you need is the Ags, and then you just become completely selfless, just building all into auras and throwing your body in the way to be able to make space for this 2-win condition lineup that you've got in the PA and the Lina. But
Dude,
the read early on.
Oh, Enchantress is such a silly hero, man. I just saw a level 3 Enchantress just do a half damage to Undying and just zone him away. Like, yeah, have fun defending your Alchemist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of know exactly where the Undying was, right? And if he's not showing up as coming back to this lane, they're like, all right, let's go for a bit of a dive here.
Bottom lane, Pampelona with the toss potentially. One TP starting to come out. He's got the creeps to the north to be able to jump through, but 555. There's no stun, so Mini's just going to look to TP out. Serum, is he fast enough? It looks like he is. So they've done a really good job. They pulled them away from the tower. They do have another creep wave connecting shortly, but Exo's going to soon expire.
In that meantime, up top, they're looking to put a little bit of pressure in onto Benny. Not too many TPs to come up towards this top lane with the exception of RoboZ. They still do get one kill, which probably they didn't need to give away, but much more important to try and protect your tier 1 tower, I suppose. Feels like Benny, though, now that he's reached up to that level 6, he feels much more confident in being able to just stick up in this lane and look to try and shove it out and farm on his own. A little bit short on the Celestial Hammer there from Jupiter. Might just be trying to take out the trees instead. Reduce the amount of areas to juke around in for Benny.
This game is really not looking too good for Balrogs at all. I feel like for them to come back into this and making us space for the Alchemist, it's going to be off the back of RoboZ. He's third in net worth, Javelin completed. Might have a fight by the Arcane Room, but Guts able to pick that up and just assassinate the life of the Undying. And our Guts is going to stand his ground in man fight. They purge off the win run. Oh no. And now Pampelona should be able to step on out into the trees, but I was just saying the Wind Ranger needs to be the hero that can snowball this game to make this space for the Alchemist, and well, he's brought down in the river.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to go for this Wind Ranger pick, you needed to play a lot more around Pamplona making the rotation towards mid, right? But the thing is, you've got this Enchantress with a Blightstone PA lane, so it doesn't really feel safe to leave the Death Prophet, but you got to give up something to earn something, right? So it's just one of these instances where there's no winning choice, it's just which is less bad for you. Because right now, it feels like you've just tried to put a little bit too much both ways, and you're not going to win out either way.
Bottom lane, they're attempting on Hijack. Laguna Blade's still on cooldown for the moment. They should have the damage with some of the right clicks. I mean, look at Guts, 141 damage already to be working with the help of the Falcon Blade. And not only that, across the map, they're even fighting to the Alchemist. They'll get the kill into the Death Prophet, but it looks like with the reinforcements, Benny will turn it back around as a deep attempt from No Runes is going to be punished. They lose the Venge, and they also lose the Enchantress. So a really good job at defending their own jungle.
Yeah, defending the jungle, obviously very important for an Alchemist to be able to accelerate with that Greevil's Greed farm. Again, has only just the 1 point into it so far. Needs to make sure that he's leveling up the Acid Spray because of how poorly the laning stage went. Going straight into the Radiance, but again, it's just a matter of how much of the map have you lost, how far are you going to be behind a PA, which it's not really something that you expect to happen super early on. I mean, PA is only one item away from that Battle Fury. Very nice start for Mini.
Would like to see both sides start to put a little bit of emphasis on making some stacks at the Ancients, because the PA with Battle Fury can farm that, the Alchemist as well will be able to farm that as well. Balrogs. Smokers 3, and well, it's going to be Serum that's killed off. It's not the worst kill, because it should help them lead this into a tier 1 tower now with the Exorcism committed. And Pampelona, though, to the right, to the left side.
Should see him. They've got ways to be able to push this wave out, though. And with that Exorcism being committed, I mean, has it really accomplished that much? An Enchantress kill and a tickling of damage to a tier 1 tower? I don't think so. So now I feel like you just need to make sure you're shoving out the next wave, pick up those early farming items. You don't even need to push towers, honestly, on No Runes. Like, you can wait for the BKB and then look to make an aggressive movement. PA still going to be a little bit until she's got that Battle Fury, so you're fine with it being a passive game. Of course, you can't leave an Alchemist completely on his own, but he's actually revealed down on the bottom side of the map, so with Alina coming through to potentially get this kill, although nice Observer Ward to be able to protect from any kind of rotation coming through.
Lane Serum's going to enter into the jungle where RoboZ and Pampelona have sprung the trap. They'll do a killing spree here for the Wind Ranger. Still second in net worth. Not having the worst game for the moment on RoboZ. Gonna try and catch Mini in the tree line, but And they'll be able to keep up. So nice read coming up from the Phantom Assassin back towards the mid lane and getting very close towards the Battle Fury.
This is the thing, though, right? The Enchantress was there to win the lane and to make it difficult for you to find pickoffs onto the heroes that actually matter. Again, it's the first, bottom side, actually. This could be a hero that matters a little bit more, unless they don't have a stun, and then he's going to be A-OK. Just getting there for a little bit off the stack.
Oh, they might still get him.
Lock up
Look
the
at
smoke
this.
as well.
Oh, they tossed the Wind Ranger in.
Who got who?
Dawnbreaker's relatively tanky for the moment with some heroes playing behind, but Hiko's going to swap himself. And that's enough because they can go in with Mini nearby. So Pampelona goes down. And stalling out. I mean, Tiny, you need this blink. It's a lot of their playmaking capabilities on Balrogs. They don't have a hero to start the fights until Alchemist gets that blink, maybe second or third item. So slowing him down is very important.
Yep. And I feel like Serum's just going to keep doing the exact same thing that he's been doing so far, right? Looking to place some wards to enable his cores to farm safely in spots that are less likely to be dewarded, and then just throw himself out there. He wants to get up to level 6 just so that he has a little bit more of that survivability. But then again, it's going to be splitting up the map, making sure that Hiko gets into his Aghanim Scepter. I said around 17 minutes. Looks more like 16 to me with how effectively he's been able to farm. And yeah, of course, Lina closing in on the BKB, PA closing in on... I don't think she actually has anything queued up just yet, but you would imagine it's... Do they need the Deso? I guess they do. I mean, they've already got a little bit of... a lot of right-click damage coming through, so I would imagine it's Deso second item for Mini. But you could look to make plays in like 2 minutes time just with the 4 heroes except PA, right? I'm just be doing it around mid lane very shortly.
Top lane, Pampelona. Oh, this is looking like a freebie. DP out now, son. DP out. Oh, he made it. Very nicely done. All right, some time. Radiance about to be completed for Benny. Still needing a little bit of gold. This is incredibly late Radiance time. And the fact that the Phantom Assassin got his own farming steroid at 1.5 minutes beforehand. Looks like Mini is going to be working towards that BKB with already one component. But you've hit your timings on No Runes. Like, you are not worried at all. This farming steroid came out early for PA. Hiko's got the Scepter, like you were mentioning, at 16 minutes in, which can be a really big issue for the hero that you are very slow to farm, and one item, if you don't get it, people can just run over the game. So I feel like No Runes are incredibly happy with the status of this game one.
70 gold away from BKB on the Lina. She's got the regen rune as well. So, like, you're just hitting everything all at the exact same time. This is exactly what No Runes were playing for. And now they could just look to smoke up together, go for an aggressive play, pick off a high priority target like that Alchemist. Although they're going to try and get a free kill here.
The extra is going to be committed towards the Vengeful Spirit, so they're going to be able to take care of Hiko, but now they'll turn it back around as Guts tries to show up. But the damage is not there to kill off Hijack. They need to be able to reset, but they're back in though. 555 doesn't have the capability to get out. A swap closer towards Guts positioning. Looks like in the end, it'll still be the 1 for 2. Is that the worst though? Because EXO committed and they're not going to lose a tier 1 tower, I don't think.
Won't they? They're dealing an okay amount of damage. They don't want to go in just yet on the PA.
They're going to go in instead. Mini, look at that with the Solar Guardian. They should get the slam down stun, but the LSA follow-up. Down goes Hijack. And now Mini instantly jumps towards Pampelona as well, making sure the Tiny cannot back off with the team.
Damn, I was dead wrong. I thought they wouldn't have the damage to be able to take him out just yet, maybe needing PA to get into that secondary item first, but well, clearly underestimating just the level advantages that they've been able to have. At least in the meantime, Benny's been greedy. He's been sitting back. He's been farming. He's going to look to try and contest this Roshan. They see that it's going on, but they're going to be a little bit too late.
You are right indeed, Benny.
I mean, getting those 2 pickoffs at the start, of course, was probably the best that Balrogs could have hoped for, considering how the start to the game went. But yeah, like you said, they apparently just didn't have the damage to be able to convert then onto the other key objective that allows the Alchemist to farm better, to allow you to maybe find a kill onto the PA before they make use of those key first timings and get the PA without an Aegis. Now that can't happen.
Mid lane? A bit of jump, but Pamplona's going to be right. This neutral item on Wind Ranger is incredible. Lance of Pursuit is goddamn silly. I had never thought about it, but like no one wants to really, quite often, no one wants to stand your ground against a Wind Ranger that's focus firing you. So you try and run away, well, what are you going to do? You slowed, extra damage? This seems like a very good item for Wind Ranger.
And how about Specialist's Array for Alina?
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
With the DD
very
and
cool.
Working on MKB. Yeah, very cool.
Very fair, very balanced. Like the fact that he's going into the super early MKB, not wanting anything to get in the way of both him as well as PA doing a lot of the damage. You know, you're probably going to look to build into some kind of evasion just to sustain against this heavy physical style, but it's going to be all for nothing.
That Radiant's completely negated now, mainly. Was it, what's 80%? Is it the proc? I don't remember now of MKB. Yeah, 80% chance to pierce. There we go. DD activated. T1 tower's going to go down mid. Let's see if they want to consider about going for another objective instead. They're going to evade into the jungle.
Hijack.
They will
You
run
can't just walk
straight
here.
into hijack. An easy pickings. Like you mentioned, cannot
they
be
might just find
wandering.
Benny as well. Benny's the one doing the scouting right now.
Look at the
Daytime. Will that allow
I
them
think
to
they
see
saw
it? They
him.
do.
They do. Yep. The jump forward. Jupiter gets confirmation of Benny's positioning. He's going to try and get back to the T1 tower. Balrogs, they are starting to TP down. They might be able to kill off the Dawnbreaker, but the swap away Hiko is able to keep Jupiter alive. And now they don't have answers towards Guts as the double damager onto the Lina is just ripping them apart. The damage early on is too much for Balrogs to handle. Now Robo Z might be stuck in the tree line as well. He's going to try and cut his way through, but no, the power shot. It didn't cut the tree that he needed. The change to the power shot for some reason. Not being able to cut all the trees down. He got unlucky there and, well, that'll condemn his own life.
I mean, let's be honest, Ares. When was the last time you saw an arrow being fired into trees that destroyed them?
Yeah, well, that is true.
Some kind of anime shit going on.
Hey, what are we doing now? Is this, I thought we
You
PG
got one
stream.
yesterday, all right? I don't want to start. Yes.
So Lino, pretty cool hero, huh? Dude, we've been on this Lina train for a while, and we kind of stopped preaching it because just no one was picking it, and we're just like, all right, like we still kind of feel it's strong, but we just kind of put it on the back burner for a bit, and it's good to see having a good game. Guts 5-0-3, MKB almost completed. It was a really nice pick out of no runes at the 8th.
Yeah, they banned the direct counters to it as well, right? In the laning stage and even early mid game before those BKBs start to come out. Puck, Kunkka means that you are kind of in that no man's land, I like to call it, where very easy to be able to be killed, but you also need to be farming as you are having the potential to be acting as that true carry. But this game, they don't even need to just lean back on the leaner to do all of the heavy lifting.
Oh, not again, hijack.
Not even
his
any
health
crits, and he's still going to
gone
die.
like that. The minus armor coming through from Hiko, along with Mini with the Orb of Corrosion. They've got the ward on the high ground as well, but they're not even looking for 555. They want Benny instead. They recognize this thing undying. It's going to be easy picking, so let's just go for a +1 kill. Benny, they want to try and force the BKB. Looks like he will just slither on back to the T2 tower.
Double magic missile. Bang, bang.
Double
Just trying to
poggies.
harass him a little bit. Yeah, you got Aegis left for another 15 or so seconds, so they're just like, you know what, let's just take a tier 2 tower. It'll give them a glyph refresh, but it was about to come back up anyway. Take the outpost control, take away the Alchemist's jungle, take away another tier 2 tower, set up for second Roshan, take the Roshan, win the game. Very, very tried and true strategy coming through from No Runes here. I like the way that they're playing together.
Dude, this magic missile range with Aether Lens is going to be ridiculous now. Because he's got the eye, the vizier.
Vizier.
Vizier, yeah, vizier. Holy crap. Missile's going to be chucked from so far away.
Other side of the map. Basically as good as the Dawnbreaker ulti.
Benny.
The Dawnbreaker.
Oh, they're fine. Oh, this is not a good position to be
Oh,
in.
no.
Guts on the high ground. And there's the missiles bouncing over to Hijacked. And BKB, that's going to do nothing versus the right-click damage. Look at them go. He gets some distance away, but it's all on the back of Balrogs just putting their own bodies on the line. Core supports, it doesn't matter. Just hope that Hijack can get out.
I didn't see the Avatos combo come out from this Tiny, but I'm going to need him to drop that Eye of the Vizier. Like, a 20% max mana reduction on a Tiny is so huge. It means that you're probably only going to be able to get, what, 2 combos off max? Oh, another hook back.
I swap into the Solar Guardian there. Might be able to get the first life. But Hiko can now play with the illusions. A long-range swap back of Robo-Z with the BKB down and dusted. It's looking like it might be all she wrote here. An Alchemist lineup down 15,000 gold. Hiko's getting some tips as well for good measure. An interesting draw.
Territory.
Oh man, look at Mini.
He's not Mini, I'll say that much. He's mega.
Giga Chad. Right?
Sure. Looking very, very strong right now. No runes. Again, like, this is not a weak team. This is a team that took it all the way. They could be sitting top 6 right now, if not for a couple of very small mistakes coming through against SG Esports. And now they've just got very strong map control. So they can look to play wherever they want. They can look to take this tier 2 tower. It'll be Hiko doing the majority of it. Again, because he's got the Aghanim Scepter. You don't really want to commit onto him, but you're kind of forced to. Unless they accidentally make a small camp pull up on the top side of the map. But bottom, that's the one that they're really looking to go on to. Guts is the main target, but look at this. He just says, well, they haven't been on the map for the longest time. They're either farming in the jungle, but only Alchemist really wants to be doing that, so they're probably coming for me. So I'm just going to TP away to the other side of the map. At least I'll have Avenge to be able to back me up. That's with Roshan potentially respawning in about 15 or so seconds. How long we got on the Rosh? I want to wager. 2 minutes.
140.
Oh, it was 2 on the dot. Let's go.
Okay.
You know, when you're on, you're on.
Yeah, right. What else have you? What else have you been on him?
All day, all day.
Right,
Just everything's been on point.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, Gaben's my uncle. You know, he tells me all these things.
Tower is under attack.
Do you have any
All right.
secret information about Part 2 of Battle Pass?
Yeah, it'll have the CM persona in it.
Oh, thank you.
And a bunch of other unreleased content.
Oh, dope. Appreciate it.
No worries, anytime. That is a Lincoln Sphere now finished up for Guts as well. So basically the only way he was going to die is if he gets either tossed back or shackled into without being able to pop the BKB. But his reaction times have been pretty damn good so far.
Dude, what am I looking at with this hero, man? I can't. The Venge is actually frustrating me just seeing this build. He's wave tearing from across the map, and it's giving them so much. Like, you could use this as a scouting tool.
Yes, Griff, can you zoom out a little bit? I think we might need it to see the full range of that wave of terror. There we go. Can't even see his name anymore. That's how far out you need to go. Kind of silly. I mean, you've got an Enchantress that's just scouting with the creep constantly, right? They've got the vision advantage. They've got everything to be able to play around with this.
I'm incredibly surprised there's a 3% probability for the Balrog still. I mean, how really, it's with an Alchemist lineup, I just double what the net worth is for the enemy team. Like, you say 18k, you're right, screw it, to 36k instead.
I never got that mentality of like, it's an Alchemist, you know, the net worth isn't worth as much, blah, 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 you know, because net worth is net worth. You're still a pretty strong hero in terms of like right-clicking, and I feel like people underrate Acid Spray and Unstable Concoction, especially once you've got the Blink Dagger. He doesn't, but if he's able to get into it, I feel like they've got a very minor chance. Just, you got to make sure that you're picking off that Lina to be able to begin things.
Yeah, and the issue if you're going for the Lina, then Hiko can always swap. And no runes, they're going to now have a second life to play with as well, so
even just
Good
these
luck.
things like the positioning from the Ench and the Venge, right?
Man, look at
They
that,
know that
Serum.
it's very hard for them to die. I mean, now they've got no
Swap
tombstone.
in, 555. Look at all the information that Heaker's providing them. A Solar Guardian directly dropped on the head, so the Vengeful Spirit's
bang,
not going to
bang,
be an
bang.
easy kill. And meanwhile, Benny is getting mauled down by the right clicks, can reposition, but it comes at such a grave cost. And everyone else's health pool is hijacked. He's just trying to catch up to one member, trying to find Destiny. The zombies expire. He should have another round of Celestial Hammer to be able to get into the tree line. The
Won't
pinks
need
are
it.
there, but the rest of the team, they're coming for Hijack
They
instead.
know.
He was the
Yep.
one on the hunt, but now he's the one
The
that's in
homing missile.
trouble.
Oh, got
They
him.
got it. LSA from Guts, godlike streak for your position too.
Yeah, that was
And
pretty
now
much
look
your
at
one
Mini.
chance to come back into this.
Ah!
Yeah. Yeah. And he's got the fan of knives now as well. Isn't that great?
Oh yes, very, very cool.
Does it really need to be pure 16% damage?
I think this hero is like top 5 carries of the patch. So
Yep. What, who's there?
Done.
Faceless Void, PA, I think Naga's up there.
top 5?
Yep.
I haven't seen Naga, so have you seen a Naga
I think it's
game
been
yet?
slept
Oh,
on.
Pampeluna. All right, well, yeah, okay. Got easy kill.
It's a
and
shame
now
that he can
swap
just buy
into
back and come
Robo
straight
Z.
back in.
And it's a shame that the win run does nothing into the MKB from Guts and now Kenny as well. Well, Benny, Kenny, and GG's are coming out shortly. What a
Can they get
performance!
No, they cannot.
Oh. Get the rampage. Come on, go in. What are you doing? Give us a rampage.
He's winning the game, bro. 30 minutes in, that's
Aw.
all he needs. And yeah, no runes. Very, very clean victory from start to finish. So nice performance coming out from them. It would have to be a little bit disheartening from Balrogs because it wasn't a horrendous draft. I feel like anytime you've got an Undying, you really want to rely on winning the lanes. So they did the next best thing. They said, all right, the strength hero that we picked up at the start, it's actually not that significant. We're going to run it as a position.